Hi everyone, welcome back to No Name Junction, unless of course I've already changed its name, in which case welcome to whatever that name change is. I digress. This is going to be not so much a how to, just really recording what I do, and if I make a mess up of this, so be it. Many of you have seen this on network YouTube. I just recently weathered this old Metcalfe Engine Shed, and it accompanies my L-cut design shed sitting next to it on my layout. But I felt that it would be nice to put some LEDs into this, so I'm going to do a setup here with some LEDs. They're 1.8 LEDs. I might change them in a minute for the yellow ones. I'm not too sure. I actually quite like the idea of doing yellow, but yeah, I'm going to put two on a beam. Now I've seen somebody do this. I'm not sure if it was Richard from Everard Junction or somebody. I hope I haven't got that wrong. If I have, I apologise to both Richard for getting it wrong and whomever I should have shouted out to as a thank you for showing the way forward on this for getting it wrong. But anyway, I digress. But it is merely using a piece of wood across and putting two pieces of timber below, and then putting two lights on each side, one there and the same here, so that you don't get to see the light through the skylights of this, but you actually have it something that looks a little bit more typical when it's finished. So if this goes right, great. If it doesn't, I'll still put it out there, because if I make a mistake, then hopefully somebody else won't do, and so we'll carry on. Right, I'm just going to record it, and hopefully it won't be too long in the making, but we'll see. I'm going to do it in bits and pieces and stages. I'll get back to you later. Bye for now. Okay, so what I've actually done is I've put in, put those out of the way, I put in the trusses and the bars across to support the lights, but what I forgot to do is actually paint the underside of this. So I'm going to probably just flick it out just quickly, paint the reverse side with a black, and hopefully slip it back in. So I'm using just cheap acrylics, and I don't use just pure black. Actually, it's handy to have a little bit of brown in there just to warm the black up as you go. So looking for a fairly decent brush, not my best. Some water. I just want to quickly paint the back of these, and then I can slip that back in, and then I can paint the rest of the roof in. I didn't really want this to show from the outside. A bit of a, should have thought about it first. But okay, it shouldn't make too much of a difference, I hope. It should slide back in, push down. I think we've got away with that. Do the same with this one, I hope. Okay, now I'm going to carry on and paint the rest of the roof black and stop a bit of light leak, hopefully, and paint the rest of this, and the actual glue will go off without too much of a problem while that's happening, and then we'll pick it up again. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done on certainly that part. I want to put a little bit of weathering dust and old bits of powder in here just to dirty the walls a little bit. Yeah, we'll carry on. I do need to wait for this to dry up though, because if I start playing around with this too much, I'm going to destroy what's already been put in place. So I'm going to let that set up overnight. But in the short term, I'm going to measure off and I'm going to set up the LED so that when this is dry, all I've got to do is put it all together. We'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so what I want to try and do is, if I can, I want to bend these out so that they are almost flat but in line. And bearing in mind that that is the live, so what I guess I must do just paint. I think this will stay on. Just going to paint the end of that LED, so I know that that one, you can use red indelible or whatever you want, but that will just tell me that that is the positive in. There you go, so that is one. Don't expect that to stay, but at least hopefully it will stay long enough for me to do what I've got to do before I knock it all off and not know what's what. And wire these up independently so they come down the back channel, then join them up underneath. It's probably a long way round to do it, but it may well be the easiest way round to do it. And therefore put the lives to the outside and the common to the inside, like so. Join these two together here and then run. What I've done is I've bent these round. I don't know how much I've lost until I look at the footage, but I've bent these two round. I've heat shrinked each side, as you can see, and I've measured from there to there, so it's almost correct, and then I will paint the backs of these and this strip later in black before I fix it all in. What I've done is I put the common on here, so it will run around the side of there and come down and go through the baseboard. I'm just going to put a live feed to there and another one to there. Okay. There, and I'll put some smaller ones on the other side, but hopefully what I intend to do is keep, if it will allow me. I'm not sure if I can get both in, but if I can, so far so good. This will be the test. Let me go over. No, okay, so what I've got to do is just cut this a little shorter. And it's worth a go. Cut this a little shorter. By the time it does come through anyway, it will be through the baseboard, so I'm not too worried. Let's just see if we can do it now. I just need to be able to see the black wire. And I can. So there we go. Put that over to there. Make that joint disappear if I can. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's a thick joint, so it's a bit my own fault for some very poor soldering, but it might be worth me trying to just gently, not really want to take this apart, but make this a better joint here. That's a better joint, and I hope it is. You might get lucky and get this sleeve over the top of the whole thing. There we go. Worth that little bit of extra, I think. I shall bend these as I need them, but first off, as I said before, I'm going to paint these out. So go back to the black paint, move everything out of the way. And once these are done, there's nothing stopping you giving a couple more coats of this black paint once they're glued in place. Right, I'm going to let that thoroughly dry off. You can see, oh there you go, you can see, I hope, that it's all painted out, and once that's dry, fingers crossed, it'll be set to go. All I'll do is find the other lights. Right, now then, this is fairly good. I think feeling that is fairly good to go. All I just want to do is, as I suggested earlier, is just to put some weathering powders, some dirt and some black is all that's needed, and just dirty the walls up a little bit, because I mean the outside is dirty, so should the inside be. So we'll come back in a minute. Right, I will have to start learning to not work in such a mess. Things get knocked over and broken and lost and all sorts of problems. Okay, so you can see that I'm just mixing some dirt, grime, I'm not sure which one, and some black. I'm just going to simply go around the walls. I'm not trying to do anything particular, just trying to suggest the dirt and grime, and especially near the entrance where it can be seen more. It also covers up some of my bare bit of painting from earlier. Don't make it all the same. Play around with it a bit. It's just to create the environment inside and not crispy clean cardboard. Not bad, I hope. Not too bad anyway. And one more job I just thought about. So I'm just going to shut the lids off on these and put those away, and I'll come back in a minute. But what I've been trying to do is paint these little bases to the posts, trying to get them about the right size, and if I have, all the better for it. Now I've left them that they're not pure white, obviously, because they'll be dirtied up, and when they're dry, which I'm hoping some of these will, I'm just going to just give them a little dirt. I think that's not bad. The other side too. Okay, just a quick spray of varnish on the inside. Right, so we're going to let that finish off and dry up. Almost done. And I'm just going to, the paint on here is still curing, so I'm just going to put these in place and just see how much I've got to bend them back out. A fair bit. And once they're dried and in that place, I don't know if you can see that, but once that's glued in and finished off, then yeah, we'll just get it wired up. Okay, I'll come back in a short while, and we'll hopefully this paint on these will be dry and we can get finished off. Back in a mo. Right, just going to use the glue activator. Just to set them off. This is the right choice, I think. And I can put that lot down behind. And put another touch in there. Run the cables out the back. And some more glue down there. Just going to put a little bit in the centre. Good. Alright, so that's working. Now let's see if we can get this other one. I'll finish that off there. Alright, so all being well, we've now got lights where we want them. All I've got to do now, you can see that the lights are in place down the shed. Okay, all I've got to do now is put it on, mark the position for these and run them through the base, and let us just see if we can't make this happen nicely. Hope so. Worked hard with it. What I'm going to do is just to probably, if I can, just touch. I can wither this back in, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm just going to place a little bit of the merest touch of white paint where the cables are going through the base, and that way I'm not messing around making holes that I don't need to make in places where I don't want them. But once they're made, then I can just come back in and paint over these. It's not even going to notice it. But it's a good way of just putting the holes down where you want them and marking them first. In fact, I will even go as far as, because it's a dark base that's going on, I can put the same corresponding marks by placing this down and seating it. I'll take the trains off first and I shall come back in a minute, but hopefully we'll have this running soon. Bye for now. It's in. I've checked the lights, they're on. I'm really pleased with that. They're very subtle and they're very low. You can barely see them alight during the day. That's probably how it would have been. So I'm just going to turn the lights off. Hopefully this will stay pretty focused on things and you'll be able to get the effect.